Good job, man. We back with another video, man. How you doing? Feel doing great today. Today we got 8 most disturbing phone calls ever received. I'm guessing they received by the police or received by the general public. I don't know how they gonna do it. We finna get into the video, man. See what happened though. For real. Like 8 most disturbing phone calls ever received. Get into it, man.
A few summers ago, my old phone of 2 years began ringing. I had a new one, but my old one rang.
2 years?
I had to dig through my closet.
Let me sit up for this.
A private number was calling the phone. I answered it, thinking it could have been an old friend who didn't have my new number yet.
Never answer a private number. Let there be a voicemail.
A strange accent I didn't recognize. He knew my name, knew my story, knew where I lived, etc. I was genuinely worried, so I asked him how he got all this information. He said we had met the night before at a house party, which I was at one, but I was with my friends, and I wasn't even drunk. I remember the whole night. We went back and forth for a few
Ain't no way,
minutes.
boy.
He told me to meet him down by the river in 5 minutes and hung up. I knew exactly where he meant. I'm not usually easily intimidated, but this had me panicking.
Meet him by the
I asked my
river.
friends who went to the party with me if they were playing a prank, and they told me they were being serious about it not being them. I knew they were being genuine too, because they all offered to show up to the river with me to see who it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
There were
I ain't going to the river though.
We pulled up at a distance and slowly started walking to the spot described over the phone. It was dark and hard to see.
Why he even go though? See me, I'm not, bruh. He gotta be. Never mind, I ain't gonna even play that role.
On the other side of the riverbank, we could all see a
Ain't no
white
way,
van.
but I'm never like I'm not going, bro. Like
it wasn't on, but it was still weird because no one ever parked here. There was no reason to. There was nothing nearby. We started walking up to it, and that's when the engine started and the headlights turned on. We all turned, running into a field where it couldn't follow us. Did this have anything to do with the phone call? I can't be sure, but I personally think it did.
He dumb so went out there and investigated.
A lot of
that
people
jump.
don't know this, but if you
Bro,
have
I'm
the
not, bro.
YouTube
We're not
app on
doing
your
this,
phone,
bro. We're not doing this ad jump, bro. Not doing it, bro. Not doing it.
I recently listed my PS3 for sale on Craigslist.
PS3.
Came with a ton of games, and I wasn't.
Bro, nobody's buying PS3, bro. Nah, somebody probably buy that junk. But like, come on, man. Like PS3, dude.
Asking for much, so I got calls all the time. This time, I got a call in the complete dead of night. It was like 3:30 a.m. when I woke up to my ringtone. Yeah, I would get a lot of calls, but I had never gotten one this late in the night before. I was still half asleep when I picked up the phone. Immediately, this normal-sounding guy started talking to me. He said he was calling about the PS3 I listed, and offered something crazy like $5 for the whole thing.
$5.
Mumbled something about how that was way too low. It went silent for a few seconds, when out of nowhere this text-to-speech, robotic-sounding voice started listing off extremely personal information.
That junk's scary, ain't gonna lie, that junk's scary, bro.
It listed.
That's why I own, bro. All the eBay, Craigslist, now Amazon, they probably official. But eBay, Craigslist, all the other junk, no, bro. No, bro. I know, bro. Like, them boy be hacking on that junk. They probably know where I'm at now.
The car I drove, the names
Shit,
of all my
they know where I'm at.
members,
Shit,
and a lot of other stuff. I sat up, panicked, and hung up the phone. I got an immediate call back from the number, but this time I didn't answer. Just something about the way it switched from.
Man, they finna pull up at your crib, boy. He done read your whole information.
Voice still freaks me out. Thankfully, nothing else ever happened. I have no idea how this guy was able to get my personal information.
Boy, be hacking, man.
This happened when I was 13.
No matter about no password, man.
I got a phone call. I was greeted with a man's voice. Hi, I sell security systems. Are your parents home? I replied saying no. Does your house have a security system? Again, I said no because it didn't. Okay. The phone line went dead. I quickly realized my mistake and checked the locks on all the doors and windows. After I made sure everything was locked, I grabbed a kitchen knife and locked myself in my bedroom. My bedroom had a window that faced outside the front
Kitchen
of the
knife ain't
house.
gonna do nothing for you, man. You gotta get that
I was in a
fire.
cul-de-sac, but since it was a work day, none of my neighbors were home. Still, there was a car I didn't recognize parked down the road. I called the cops and kept my eyes on it while I waited for them to show up. Suddenly, a man ran out of a bush just in front of our house and towards the car. He got in and immediately drove off. I saw all
Hey,
of it.
man. That's crazy.
Police arrived. I told them about the man and showed them the bush he was hiding in.
Dang.
The bush was just under our house's dining room window. There were clear marks of someone trying to break into it.
He talking about he grabbed a kitchen knife. That ain't gonna do
I was
nothing
in
for
my
you,
early
man.
teenage years and had just recently gotten my first phone. I got a call from an unknown caller. Nowadays, I'm much more cautious in answering these, but back then I didn't fully understand the concept of phones and answered to pretty much anyone that called.
Goofy.
I picked up and instantly didn't recognize the voice. It sounded like an older man. I said, "Who is this?" To which he responded, "Why do you want to know?" I didn't answer because I thought it was some kind of joke or prank call.
Man,
Suddenly
bro.
broke the silence, saying, "I can see you." I
What?
responded with something like, "Nice try, but that's
Nah,
not
but
very
you cannot
original."
see me tripping.
Just then, I began to hear a train going by. My house is right next to a set of train tracks, and I swear, over the phone, I could hear the same sound of a train passing in the background. As it got closer, the sound got louder in the phone. I panicked and hung up.
Man.
Nothing further ever happened. This was either a huge coincidence, or I really was being stalked.
So was your windows open, nigga? Your windows should not be
30
open.
years ago,
And
I
especially
was
at
lying in
night.
bed trying to fall asleep beside my wife, who had fallen asleep a few hours before. It was lightly raining outside, which helped me get to that state of half awake, half asleep, when the phone on the
Like
nightstand
that rain sleep do
started
be
ringing.
hitting though. That rain sleep hit.
I slowly sat up and picked up the
Especially with the
receiver
ceiling
to
fan
determine
on.
if it was a fluke or an actual call. Stuff like that used to happen back then. I put the phone to my ear and sat in silence as I listened. It was just white noise. Until eventually I could make out two voices, two female voices. They were talking about a murder that had just occurred. I remember one of them going on about how they couldn't believe they had really just done it.
What?
This was followed by the other telling her to, quote, get out of there before the police arrived.
Man.
They continued talking like this for a while.
What type of
as I
BS
just
is
sat
this?
there, still trying to process what I was hearing. Suddenly, one of the two asked the other if they heard someone else on the line. And with that, I hung up.
You don't hear nothing on the line,
I still
bro.
don't know how something like this could have even happened.
How did he even get on the line with
It
them?
was a prank call, back before prank calls were even really a thing. I told my wife about it the following morning.
Ain't no way.
The fans are going to be happy with this.
Hey man. All I gotta say is, man, don't call my phone by none of that. I'm not answering. You know what I'm saying? That been hitting straight voicemail.
It was my first time staying home alone, while my whole family was out at my brother's baseball game. I was 13. I was on the phone with a friend of
And
mine.
like that first,
Someone beeped in
oh
on
shit,
the
that first night home alone, bro. Like you be scared, boy. I ain't gonna lie, boy. Was I scared? Probably was. I don't know. I don't remember. Too long ago.
other line.
But that first night,
I
crazy
told
though.
her I'd
By
be right
yourself
back
at
and
home.
clicked over line.
Nah, it's
I
crazy.
gave a hello. There was a laugh, and then the words, "I'm downstairs in your basement right now." Honestly, I
Man,
just shook
stuff
it
like
off
that be
and hung up
crazy,
thinking
man.
it
I'm
was a prank.
going down that bit with that fire,
Our neighborhood
nigga.
was
You better
pretty
believe
safe,
it.
and so I
I
figured
see
it
some
had
shit
to have
moving,
been
getting
someone just
popped.
messing with me. I resumed talking with my friend when they beeped in again, so I again clicked over. This time I was met with much more aggression. The voice said something about how I shouldn't have hung up on him and how he was coming upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
Suddenly the lights
Please come on
downstairs
these
started
stairs.
flickering and there was a banging under my feet. My dog ran to the corner of the living room. Now, our basement was actually just an area connected to the garage. It wasn't finished. I heard what sounded like footsteps coming up the garage stairs that led into our kitchen, accompanied by yelling. I kept trying to hang up and call the cops, but every time I tried, he was still on the phone. I managed to switch back to the line with my friend and told her to get her parents to call the police. I sat in a locked bedroom on the main floor, horrified, quietly crying, waiting for them to arrive.
Man,
They finally showed up, by which point the man was gone.
that's not
There was
crazy.
no sign of forced entry, though the window on our outside garage door had been broken for months prior, and my guess is he used that to get in. My family was
Bro, why you ain't fix that?
Police couldn't really come up with any solid evidence that this had actually happened. We did end up getting a security camera and fixed our garage window not too long after that,
My point exactly.
but I still
As you
don't know if
should.
they truly believed me or not.
Nah, nigga calling your phone. Nigga call your phone. Hey man, I see you right now. Yeah, okay.
This was back when I
Coming in
still
before
had an
you
old
want to.
slider phone. One day I got a random call asking for some girl named Sarah. I didn't even know Sarah, so I told them they had the wrong number, to which they hung up without saying another word. For the next few months, I would get these same calls asking for Sarah maybe once or twice a week, sometimes at absurd
Bro,
hours.
don't know Sarah stay here, dog.
This one time I got a call. Like usual, I said I didn't know Sarah. They hung up, but this time I went to my contacts and hit redial. After I did this, I was met with a robotic voice saying the number did not exist. I went back to my
What?
call history and tried calling some of the other numbers that had called me, with the same result. The next time I got a call asking for Sarah, I said, "Oh yeah, she's right here." The person on the other end didn't hang up right away, but instead said, "No, she isn't." And the line went dead. After this, I started getting
What?
calls now from unknown numbers.
That's some weird junk, bro.
This time,
Like,
there was
nah.
no voice asking for Sarah. It was just silence until I said something, then they would hang up. The creepiest one I ever got was the time they didn't hang up right away after I said hello. I could hear someone on the other end, breathing, but not saying anything.
Nah, that's gonna be
There was
crazy.
just something
Breathing
really
without
uneasy
saying it.
about all these calls. It caused me to get a new phone, after which I stopped getting the weird calls. I still don't know who this Sarah was, or why I kept getting calls about her.
Hey man, Sarah gonna move around. That what
I was
you know
home
what I'm
alone
saying?
by myself in my basement bedroom. I was playing games late into the night. It was like 3 a.m. when our house's landline started ringing.
Man,
I
bro.
didn't pick it up.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Don't
rang
pick that
several
junk
more
up.
times, and finally the voicemail picked up as I was walking
See
up the
me,
stairs to
bruh?
find.
I'm unplugging that junk. 3 in the morning. Why? Who was calling 3 in the morning on a landline phone? I'm unplugging that junk. I'm not trying to hear that, bro.
I would have dismissed it as a prank call if it hadn't been for the voice. It was shaky and raspy.
I'm trying to
It
hear
felt
that, bro.
real. I was frozen in place halfway up the stairs listening to it. The voice was trying to get me to pick up the phone, saying things like I would regret it if I didn't. Finally it ended, and I prayed that it wouldn't ring again. It did. The person left several
Bro,
more
unplug the
voicemails.
phone, dog.
They started out timid and shaky, but got more aggressive. It continued with, "If you don't give me what I want, I'm going to have to hurt you. And I need to get what
Okay.
you owe me. I'm coming for you right now." At the end of each of
Sound
them, the
good.
dial tone went off, and it went staticky as the voice broke into sobs. They kept calling and calling.
That sound weird, bro. I
This
couldn't, bro. I
experience
couldn't
truly
do that.
disturbed me. I mean, imagine being home alone in the middle of the night and hearing this voice coming from an upstairs phone.
Upstairs.
Nothing ever came of it though, and so I never told anyone else about it.
Man, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know about that junk. I gotta subscribe to my new, you know, like, good videos. But hey, have y'all ever received like a crazy phone call, bro? No, I haven't. No, I don't think I ain't. I don't think I have. Especially the nigga talking about some. I see you right now. I'm in your basement. All that. No, you don't. This shit dead, nigga. Hope you got like video, man. It's crazy, bro. Phone calls, man. If you don't recognize the number, man, just let that be at the voicemail. If anything, I still got tomorrow, man. It's crazy, man.